I'll just leave that running. Hopefully it will scroll through a few pictures. Just talk a bit about Sierra Leone and the mapping that we did there. We went out there to work with the American Red Cross and to train some local volunteers in going out and about and obtaining data. So they're doing a sort of a survey, but they're using mobile phones to do it. So it's quite interesting for us because we started off with 60 people, a lot of which were very important in their local community, which means that people would talk to them, but it didn't necessarily mean that they knew how to use a mobile phone. So it was a bit entertaining for us to start off with, just what we were going to be doing there. But we trained them and they ended up quite competent on the phones, and then they went out. And you've got a number of pictures going through there. This was a map that we were given just before we went out there, and it had got thousands of little dots all around the perimeter of the country. And basically the problem is that in 2014, when Ebola struck, nobody knew where anything was. So we've got a country with a border area which was worse than anywhere else. Nothing was mapped, and if it was mapped, it could easily be wrong. So, the barbecue. It did rain while we were out there as well. So you've got this big border area that needed mapping. So the 30 volunteers were going out to the border area. They've got mobile phones, got a GPS in them. They go to the local community. They ask lots of questions. They get the data on their phones. When they're back in internet connection, then it can be uploaded. Sorry, I got bored with lots and lots of pictures of road signs so that I can update the names of the villages. So when we had a spare moment, that was going on as well. So they'd all got these phones with the data on it, and then they would go to somewhere with a connection and they'd upload it. And then someone somewhere in a darkened room sits with 2,000 points that they've got to put onto OpenStreetMap. So I'm really looking forward to that data coming back. But interesting thing is, why do the survey there? Well, you do the survey there because it's an area where nobody knows where anything is. So the mobile phone companies haven't put that many aerials out there. So we were relying on mobile phones to talk to each other. So it had to be a case of, in the evening, where you knew where people was, you phoned them up and you said, at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, I will meet you at such and such a village. Brilliant, I've got it sussed. I know which village, I know which time. In some places there were, was it 3 villages with the same name within about 20 kilometres of each other. So we'd be somewhere with no mobile phone coverage, looking for somebody who's just not there. And at one point I found some mobile phone coverage and I told my driver, look, just take a rest. And I walked the 400 metres along this little track where I'd got mobile phone coverage, and then I turned around and I walked back again. And I refused to move for about an hour because it was the only place I've got mobile phone signal and the only chance I had of connecting with anyone. But very interesting area. What I would say to you is, it's all about people though, because the people were really, really nice. I mean, if you watch the TV, if you watch the films, you'd think, oh, it's a really dangerous area. Well, not with the people I met, it's not. They are so nice. I mean, the Red Cross guys, we started off with, we're talking to 60 Red Cross volunteers, and you think, oh, they must be really nice because they're Red Cross volunteers. But then when I went out into these rural areas, we'd be driving along and we're looking for somewhere or other, and somebody would flag us down and say, do you know where you're going? Can I help you? So there are lots and lots of very, very nice people out there. And when you consider what's happened out there, that's saying something, because they've been through quite a lot, and yet they are some of the nicest people that I've come to meet. I'd be quite happy to go back there and meet a few more. So you've got a few pictures just rolling through up there. I don't really want to say that's a picture of, but you can see you've got an idea of the place. It's very, very remote. The idea was that there were lots of surveys going on. We will get that data into OpenStreetMap so that we know where the village is, and as Pete said right at the very start, knowing where the village is and roughly what the population is and various other things about water sources, etc. That is what's really needed by the NGOs, and that's why we were out there. Would you like any more? Thank you very much indeed.